I have a clip for you today taken from Al Jazeera. It's a quotation from Ali Abunimah. He's the co-founder of the Electronic Intifada. It's a Chicago-based publication covering the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It describes itself as a non-for-profit, independent, and it also provides the Palestinian perspective in the conflict. This was taken from an Al Jazeera debate. Ali mentions a few points which very accurately describe the situation in Israel and what type of a state it is.
To talk about Israel as a stable country when it has murdered more than 7,000 children in the past 60 days, to talk about Israel as a stable country when it has attacked and destroyed hospitals, when it destroyed in the last few days the Palace of Justice in Gaza, destroying the court records and the legal records for hundreds of thousands of people.
He's saying basically gross human rights violations are undergoing right now. The bombardment of Gaza, as you've seen after October 7, basically, is a genocidal war, basically. He's saying Israel can never be described as a normal or as a stable state. They're targeting hospitals. They've done this again and again. Sometimes they deny it. Most of the time, they just openly admit it. And they say, we're just targeting the terrorists, even though they're clearly targeting civilians. They've targeted hospitals, they've targeted infrastructure, and he mentioned they have targeted courts. The Palace of Justice have been bombarded a few days ago, along with all the record, the public record that it has, all the court cases that have been ongoing. It's a war crime, it's genocide, it's purely targeting the public, and they're trying to make Gaza unlivable, basically, unfit for any type of human survival. He's saying because of these things, it can never be described as a normal state. Normal states do not commit genocide.
This is not a country or a state by any normal definition, and to talk about it in that way is utterly obscene and shows a complete disconnection from reality. Look at the pictures on the screen now. This is not what normal countries do. And to separate the West Bank and Gaza from Israel is another fiction. To pretend you can carve off Israel as some kind of normal, stable country, and the West Bank and Gaza to even... There's no Palestinian state. To call Palestine a state is false. It's like calling the Warsaw Ghetto a state. This is a killing field, and it's utterly obscene to distract attention away from that.
Very important points in here. He talks about a strategy that Israel uses to pretend as if it's a country of democracy, human rights, and stuff like that. They carve out the West Bank and Gaza, and they show them as if they are not in Israel, and they portray Israel as a country of democracy, which it is not, because Palestine, according to him, according to Ali Abunimah, is a killing field. Basically, people are being killed. Genocide is being committed. And even though that is ongoing under Israel's siege, basically, because all the West Bank and also Gaza are under the complete siege of Israel, and they don't have access to normal borders like a normal state. Whatever is going on in those countries, in those areas, in the West Bank and in the Gaza, it should be considered as it is going on under Israel. That's what he's saying. But the Israeli propaganda is making it seem like there is a small area which is outside of Israel, and all this chaos is happening because of the terrorism there. But Israel is generally a country of democracy. He's saying Israel is a country that has killing fields inside its borders. He's saying these are concentration camps. And he mentioned an example of the Warsaw Ghetto. And it's as if considering the Warsaw Ghetto as a state itself, but it was not. It was under the occupation of the Nazi Germany, and it was a killing field, basically. And that's what Palestine is, according to him, because it's a killing field, and we can never portray Israel as a democratic country. It's actually a country that has apartheid. It's actually a colonial country.
Ilan is correct. This is a settler colonial project, and it's one that has only ever been able to exist through massacring Palestinians, starting from the 1930s with the bombings that the Zionists carried out in marketplaces in Palestine, to the massacres of Deir Yassin and
Ali,
Tantura and Qibya and Sabra and Shatila, to today. Normal countries don't exist on the basis that Israel exists, of massacre after massacre after massacre. Israel is not a state, it is a criminal enterprise.
Very, very important description and very on point. It's a colonial project. It's a settler colonial project, still ongoing. The settlers are always attacking the people in the West Bank areas. People are being ethnically cleansed from Palestine, and however, with some type of magic, some media outlets still want to show Israel as a country of democracy or human rights. Well, that is not the case. Israel is a settler colonial project, and it is and has always been maintained by massacre after massacre. That's what he's saying. He mentioned some of the massacres since the 1930s until now. And it's an apartheid state because Palestinians are not given the same rights, so it can never be a democracy. And it's an oxymoron to call Israel a democracy in any way. It's a colonial enterprise. And that's the description that Ali Abunimah gave. A very accurate description of what Israel is against what it is supposed to be portrayed as in some of the media outlets in the West.